Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's Keshwani, Keshwani. I have been solving math problems for GMAT out of this book, the GMAT Review, the official guide. If you're preparing for GMAT, if you're thinking about sitting for GMAT, this is the book that you want to own because this is where you're going to find the real stuff to practice on. You can buy it at mba.com. The problem that I'm about to solve appears on page number 163. Problem solving, number 91. Let's take a look at it. As always, I have said many a times, and if you watch my previous clips, and I keep repeating it like a mantra, that there are two ways of taking GMAT, or for that matter, there are two ways of taking any standardized exam anywhere in the world for anything at all. If you're about to sit down for standardized exam, there are two ways of taking it. One is what I call the classical way, the traditional way, the orthodox way, the geeky way, the nerdy way, the proper way, the academic way, the way your math teacher would expect you to solve, the way the people who give you the exam, they would expect you to solve the problem. Another one, second method is what I call cutting the cord. Cut the cord, don't be a puppet, don't behave in the manner that they expect you to behave, which is behaving like a puppet. They pull the string and you behave like a puppet. Cut the cord, be independent, and think in a non-traditional way, in a way that people cannot predict what you're going to do. If they cannot predict what you're going to do in the exam, they cannot trap you. There are 4 traps for every problem. They give you 5 answer choices. One of those 5 answers is the right answer. You have to wonder what is the purpose of the other 4 answer choices. The purpose of the other 4 answer choices is not to help you find the right answer. The purpose is to mislead you, to distract you, to take you away from the right answer. Those are the trap answers. And the only way you're going to fall in the trap is if you go on the path that I expect you to travel on. If you take a different path, I cannot tell which path you're going to take. I can't trap you. Anyway, enough of the pep talk. I'm going to solve this problem again, as always, in a non-traditional way, without using the algebra, because it makes life easier. It says, if Sam were twice as old as he is. Notice how I'm digressing right now big time. If you don't know what digress means, pick up the dictionary and learn it. Digress means to go off a topic. Notice they say if Sam were, not if Sam was. Why were instead of was? Because it's a hypothetical situation, which is the proper English. Many a times I hear people using was in the context when they're describing a hypothetical situation. If I were rich, I would have been driving a BMW. If I were rich, not if I was rich. People butcher the English language all the time. Annoys the hell out of me. They don't pay attention to adverbs. They don't pay attention to their tenses. They don't pay attention to anything. Let's keep going. Enough of that. If Sam were twice as old as he is now, he would have been 40 years older than Jim. All right. Then we are told that if Jim is 10 years younger than Sam. Today, Jim is 10 years older than Sam. Let's look at the answer choices. A, B, C, D, and E. 20, 30. Oh, why do I keep looking here? They go in an increment of 10 years. All right. The question is, how old is Sam? So the question is, how old is Sam? So this is Sam's age. These answer choices are Sam's real age. And here, I better throw away this blue marker. It's not working very well at all. Let's pick up a different one and see. Oh, there you go. That's much better. So this is Sam's real age. Here I'm going to put down the hypothetical age. If he were twice as old, he would have been 40, 60, 80, 100, and 120. So if I were taking notice again, if I were taking, not if I was. If I were taking the real exam right now, on this scratch paper, this is the work you will see, except this part. I wouldn't write down this part, obviously. This is the part I'm going to put down on my scratch paper, the contraption that they give you to write on. I'm going to write, I literally write down A, B, C, D. I actually write down the letters, I write down my answer choices. This is the real age, this is the hypothetical age. And then the question goes on to say that if that were the case, if he were twice as old, he would have been 40 years younger than Jim. So here, let's put down Jim's age here. If this guy would have been 40 years younger than Jim, then if this were true, Jim would be 0, which means Jim is not even born yet. And we are told that Jim is 10 years younger than Sam, so obviously Jim exists. That's not it. Let's try this one. Because we are told that if Sam were twice as old as he is now, he would have been 40 years older than Jim. This guy has to be 40 years older than Jim, so Jim has to be 20 years old. Let's read the next part here. It says if Jim is 10 years younger than Sam, what? Let's see, is he 10 years younger than Sam? Looks to me that he is. Because if Sam were twice as old as he is now, he would have been 60, in which case this guy has to be 40 years younger than this guy. And then I'm told in that scenario, in that case, Jim's present age is 10 years younger than Sam's present age. This is the real age here. This is the real age of Jim. And that's it, I'm done. That's it. B is the answer. None of the others would work, because I'm told that if this guy, I'm told the Sam, if he were twice as old as he is now, he would have been 40 years older than this guy, in which case this guy has to be 40. As you can see in this scenario, his age and Jim's age is the same. Jim's and Sam's age is the same. It doesn't work. Sam has to be 10 years older than Jim. If this were the case, this guy would be 60. And this is the reverse. In D, Jim is actually 10 years older than Sam. I'm told that Jim is 10 years younger, not older. This is where Jim turns out to be 10 years older than Sam. That's not it. And if you're curious, and of course in the real exam I would not waste my time going through all of this thing. I'm just showing you just to convince you that this is the right answer. In the real exam I'm done. As soon as I find this thing, that's it. But of course you have to have confidence in your work. You have to have the faith in your work that you're not going to muck it up. The arithmetic, that is. That's all it is. It's arithmetic. The only way you're going to screw it up is if you do the addition and subtraction wrong. That's the only way you're going to mess it up. So if that were the case, as you can see, this guy becomes 20 years older than this guy. It doesn't work. This guy is 20 years older than this guy. He has to be 10 years younger. 10 years younger. I'm going to make a note here. Jim is 10 years younger than Sam, which is why this is the right answer. B is the answer. And that's all it is. This part says HYP for hypothetical. Okay? This is the hypothetical age, which is the scenario where had he been twice as old as he is actually now, this would have been his age. He would have been 40 years old as opposed to 20 years old, and so on and so forth. So one more time, if his current age, the question simply was, what is Sam's current age right now? And these are the answer choices. If Sam's current age is 30, then his hypothetical age would have been 60, in which case we are told that he has to be 40 years older than this guy. This guy, in which case, would have been 20. And then we are told that in that scenario, this guy has to be 10 years younger than this guy. Everything fits. Solving a math problem is like a jigsaw puzzle. There are pieces, and all the pieces have to fit in the puzzle. If everything fits in the puzzle, you know you're done. That's the answer. That has to be the answer. You don't have to solve it in the classical way, in the algebraic way. Algebra here is quite messy. We don't want to deal with it. Alright? Send me an email. Go to my website at www.prep for GMAT.com. Send me an email if you wish to purchase the DVDs that I put together to the math problems, or if you wish to hire my services for personal private tutoring. I am located in the state of Connecticut, but I've been to many different places, far away places. Just send me an email, tell me if you wish to hire my services, and tell me where you are, and we'll work something out. Alright? Thank you again for watching. Bye.